Scott Davis, Nye McGee here with EUR Thank you for giving me your time once again, because I had the pleasure of speaking with you some years ago about another project, and we are back again this to speak about your role in Suits LA,
Hey,
about this,
Hi.
of
Nice talking to
course.
you again.
Of course, of course. And so I'm just reading over my notes here, miss, and it says that you are doing the doggone thing on this show as the only female and black lead in Suits LA.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel your character, Erica, brings a fresh dynamic to the show, especially in this high-powered legal world dominated by men and predominantly, to say it bluntly, white characters?
She's a joy to work with and find things for. She is a challenge for me, if I'm honest, because I like to think we are very different. There are some similarities I can pull from Lex's personal life to bring her to life, but for the most part, she's different, and I couldn't ask for a better challenge and a better role. I think actors were always striving to search outside of ourselves to become something. But yeah, we meet her at a stage in her career where she is fighting to be heard, fighting to be seen, knows the amount of work and passion she puts into this business, and yet she is fighting for a seat at the table. I think what's beautiful about our pilot is that we actually see her get the things that she is fighting for. We get to see Ted actually be like, no, I do hear you and I do value you in high regard. And therefore, here you go. Here is this title, here is this position. And she doesn't take that lightly. Now, does she continue to bust her ass? Absolutely, she has to. But I love that we see the foundation of her and Ted's relationship in a way that she can actually trust him, and she actually believes that he sees her for her excellence and that she brings and that she provides. She is saving this law firm literally. And he puts her to the task almost every day about saving this person, bring them back, go get this person. And she's like, got it, Captain. Like we're on it. And so it's a cool relationship to watch with them. As much as she is supporting Ted, it really does feel like a partnership. And so I lean into the partnership side of it and really just step into the confidence of having that seat at the table, a well-deserved position.
Do you find her dynamic with Ted and having the seat at the table as the only black woman in the firm? Do you find that to be one of the most compelling aspects of the storyline of this series?
I think so. Yeah, I think that that is a compelling storyline for the first episode in particular. Because what's lovely is that we do come to the the fruits of the labor by the end of that episode. She does get what she deserves. So yeah, absolutely, that is the core, theme for her. Then, but what it becomes too, just beyond that, is just watching someone who is so confident and so sure of themselves and what they do, and we get to the audience gets to see why, and it's like we get to back it up with action, with real lived scenarios of like, I understand why Ted values her the way that we do. I understand why she is a killer in this business. The way that we've described, we get to see it really play out. Um, but I think what's compelling about her type of confidence, something that I've latched onto as Lex, her type of confidence doesn't bump people. Her type of confidence is the right amount you need to know you are capable, to believe in yourself, to show up and put your best efforts forward, while also acknowledging your shortcomings and seeing the greatness in other people and reaching out to other people for guidance and knowing when to pull in resources. There's a lot Erica doesn't know. And that comes up throughout the season. And she's able to lean on her assistant, Leah, for that information and what she doesn't know. But it's a team effort. And it's not all Erica's show, Erica end all be all, what I say goes. It's not that at all. She's able to collaborate while still holding and maintaining the confidence, but she's able to collaborate where necessary. And I think that is really what's compelling for me as Lex to latch on to for her.
Me. As the series dives deeper into the pressures of a law firm in crisis, right? Can you give us a glimpse, some teasers into how your character's role evolves throughout the season?
Absolutely. She is on a mission to save this firm, to save as many clients as she can and bring in new clients as well. Really taking the time out to hear them and listen to what their needs are, and get them what they feel they deserve. I feel like a great example of this is when Brian Bob Gardner and Patton Oswalt come in, I think it was episode 3, where she would took the time out to really hear what her client had to say, what his needs were. And although it didn't look like how he thought it should be, she was able to provide him with something that set him up on the path for success. And it's just taking little lessons like that throughout the time, um, throughout her meetings and throughout her day. And there's also a version of this where we get to learn that she's capable of a lot more than just the entertainment law. She comes in handy with the big trial that Ted is going through. And that is more of a criminal law based situation, but she is able to provide some sort of aid throughout that process. And that is a make or break case for him. Like you said, the firm is already in crisis. Now you have this entertainment lawyer basically deciding he's a criminal attorney out of the blue. And if this fails, they could fail too. And so how she's able to jump in and help him throughout that process is it speaks to her capabilities as a whole, and not just with the narrowed in focus of entertainment, television, and film, but as a whole of how we can keep this firm afloat. And I think that's why Ted leans on her as a partner and trusts her with his legacy he's building.
Now, speaking of her capabilities, I mean, are there any pivotal moments or storylines that stand out to you? Does your character have any, standout episodes that you're most excited about fans or viewers watching, experiencing? And if so, what can you tell us about that episode?
Yes, I'm for Eric in particular, I'm looking forward to episode 8. We are giving an opportunity to have a window into our personal life. Um, and her mother comes back, Crystal, who's played by Crystal Fox. She comes back, and Erica's in her mother's world is a little shattered. And so I don't, without giving too much away, it was just really compelling story of watching a person deal with personal life while still expected to show up to work. And that is where something we all can relate to. Right? Whereas, it's just, we were just having a bad day and you got to walk into this place. People are complaining about one thing and talking to you about this thing, and none of it really matters to you because your mind is still somewhere else. And we watch her, someone who we've already just said it, even in this conversation, is just, she's passionate about what she does. She hears her clients. She wants to save. She's always doing something for everyone else around her. And she puts herself and her needs on the back burner to get everything done for everyone else, Ted in particular. And so with episode 8, we kind of explore her kind of hitting this wall of she just has to take time for herself. And so it's a beautiful episode. It's more a sadder episode for Erica. I know we like to play with humor and things with her, but that one in particular is just a little more heavy for her.
Obviously, Suits LA brings a strong ensemble cast together, right, to take us on this journey. So, what has it been like for you working alongside this diverse group of talented actors, and how does that impact the chemistry you share on screen?
It's been wonderful. It's so fun. I love my cast and my crew. I think not often you can you get to say that. And so I love pointing that out that I think everyone is genuinely passionate about what they do and they show up to work excited and happy and ready to play. And we just have a good time. It really starts at the top and the good energy really trickles down and just watching everyone having a great time while showing up to work means the world to me because we get to play make believe, for a living. Like it's serious, but it's not that serious. So the least we could do is have some fun, make it a warm and welcoming environment. And we've really have done that. And just very, very proud of this group and proud of my guys. I like to say just they show up with their game faces on, and it's we all have different levels of um, in terms of experience, right? Where Stephen has, led shows for years at a time, and some of us have done more films, some of us have done more theater, and it's cool to come together and kind of blend all of that and just be ready to work and within everyone's different experience. I want to say I'm probably I have the shortest career out of our main cast, and so a lot of it for me is also a learning opportunity. I love observing. I love asking questions. I love even beyond the actors. I ask questions to camera. I ask questions to producers and directors as well because I'm just using this as a front row seat to class. And I can see that I will be a stronger actor and hopefully filmmaker on the other side of this as well.
I love that. You know what else I love? As I was preparing for this interview today, I came across an interview you did with Essence, and you were mentioning the article mentioned that and you can correct me if any of this is wrong, if I'm relaying misinformation, you auditioned for this role like 4 times. You had a chemistry test. And then I think I read you said you took a picture
Yeah.
outside the audition to like cement the moment because you just knew you had the role, or at least you were projecting. So what was that moment like? I read that and I was like, I'm so happy for sis. I'm so happy for Lex that she got this. That's so exciting because I have a lot of friends that are actors so I know what that journey and that experience is like. So when you got the call, when your agent called and said you got the part, take me back to that moment. What was that experience like for you?
Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Larger than life. Because this is such a huge universe. Suits is already what it is. It's already done what it's done. The fan base is insane. So I understood the magnitude of the opportunity very early on. I also understood how much of the town wanted to be on this show, whether it was in front of the camera or behind the camera. So the responsibility of getting the part is massive because it's very much of like whoever gets it, you won for all of us. You know what I mean? And I'm that like I mean, we can't hide, we can't shake it. I am the Black female lead of this network series that comes with a huge responsibility. I know a lot of women who fought for this role. And so to get the part, it was just kind of like, okay, bracing myself, but also I did kind of know. And you don't always know. You can't always say that. Sometimes you think you have the part and then you don't get the part, and that's interesting too. But and I've tried to, having gone through that, I try to manage my expectations in a healthy way. But something about, I can't remember if that was the third time I went in. Something about that felt like that. It something felt different. And so that photo was kind of like, I just want to remember this moment because that was the win. Whether I got the part or not, I felt like in the room something magical happened. And regardless, these people in that room would remember me regardless. That is a win in itself. That's all you can ask for as an actor going in for all these auditions, right? And so I felt whatever that thing was. And that's why I took that photo and, recently was reminded of the photo. Because iPhone likes to remind you of pictures you've taken years ago, but it was a shock, but also like, okay, you felt it. and now it's yours. So now it's time to show up. Now it's time to show up and do the work and do the best you can do with this job because it's not just for you, it's bigger than you. So that was the moment for me, for
I
sure.
love that. Girl, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me your time today. Much continued success to you and your career. I've watched so much, I follow your career. I think you're just simply darling. So, God bless you, sis, and continue serving it up out here and representing. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, Nye. Thank you.
Have a great